I'm so emotional and so overwhelmed. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so emotional and so overwhelmed. I didn't expect this to happen. I'm just a single person whom God has found grace to be favored to have such people like you to come here. This means a lot to me. I don't take this lightly. I feel so emotional. And God is good. He has proven to be so faithful. Not only to me, but to every one of us who are here. The fact that you are here is a clear testament that God has raised you from somewhere. If it wasn't for God, you wouldn't be here. And if it wasn't for God, I would be here as well. So I'm so grateful for this opportunity that I've been granted today to be standing before great leaders like you. I know amongst us we have some CEOs who are with us, and we also have people, future CEOs, top entrepreneurs who are way better than I am, but they've chosen to spend the night with me. For me, I don't take this lightly. Can you give me a round of applause for yourself? So, how did they come to write the book? I always say to people, this is what I always say to also the young people I'm mentoring, that when you are privileged and fortunate enough to find and identify your purpose, it's so easy. Divine helpers will come, providence will come in. Why? Because you have identified your purpose. The greatest thing and tragedy of humanity is not to knowing your purpose. Why were you created to be here? And I was so fortunate enough to know why I was created. And I remember some years ago, unfortunately my brother is here, Edward, and his lovely wife. I stayed with them. I'm mentioning them because that's how my journey started. I remember, just imagine looking after someone, and then I remember I used to tell my group, you know what, you are so privileged to be staying with me. I was at college then. And I remember why I was telling her, because I told her that I have a great vision. And the fact that I'm staying with you, you are looking after me, you are so privileged. Because one day you're going to be proud to have stayed with me. And fast forward, things started happening. When I was at college, I started exporting some drinks and some cordials to Zambia. And I bought my first car when I was still a student. And I was staying with them, but I didn't have mentorship. Because I didn't have mentorship, I didn't even think, no, I need to buy my brother something. I never thought about it. I had to spend the money on my own, but they never complained about it. So I'm so happy that I wrote down every year when I'm starting the year for the past 10 years. I write down what I want God to do, the spiritual goals, the social goals, financial goals, and the personal development goals, to say, this is what I want God to do for the year, and for the next 10 years, and for 20 years, if God is gracious enough to give me years. So I wrote about writing books that was about 9 years ago, to say I want to write a book 9 years ago. And, but I didn't think maybe my profile is big enough for me to write a book. And something profound happened. I'm so happy Gogoshi is here. Something profound happened. Someone who is a stranger to me, we are not related by blood, her daughter. This is a former diplomat, she was an ambassador in Rice Mama. So, thank you so much. You can sit down. She's a former diplomat to about 4 countries, if I'm not mistaken, or more. And she's mother to Jackie Chimanzi, and Jackie, she's wife to Professor Adam Tambara. I met Jackie about 7 years ago, and she told me, Rinos, you are so gifted, you need to write a book, but I used to ignore her. Then last year she said, Rinos, if you can't write a book, don't speak to me. And because it was on my vision board, I ended up writing a book. So I'm so happy. In the whole of time, how did this come by, the title? All of us were coming from somewhere. And we have Madame Chico, my former boss. At some point, she was my boss when I was a manager in Tier 1. And she wasn't born like this. At some point, she was a student at doing maybe articles or at UZ. And she never imagined maybe at some point that she would be where she's seated today. If she had told people at that point that one day I'm going to be a CEO of the largest telecoms company coming from the financial background, people would just say, you are lying. But because time, providence, grace, and tenacity proved otherwise, and here she is. We have, someone like Apostle Jao. Here's a man who grew up in Shtumbiza. And at some point, he knew that he was gifted. But if he had told someone to say, God is doing something for you, people wouldn't have listened to him. But listen to this man. This is a man who has a TV channel that is reaching over 8 million homes. Because time, providence, and God's grace has taken him where he is. We have people like Mr. Mataranyika. This is a man who was just a sales rep at Old Mutual. And at some point, people, they read him, he's just short like me. You know, when you're looking at someone like me, you don't see, something extraordinary coming from someone like me. But because God's grace was on his side, and time, fortune, and God's favor, and he worked for it. And here he is running a company that is running a portfolio of over 200 million. This is something profound. And we have someone like Kensha. Ken is someone who, at 16 years, he was given $100 by his father. And he was not damned in courts, he was damned in courts to go to America with $100 £100 to spend, not to go through college. And from that money, when he started his journey, right now he's worth over 100 million. And this is a man who is supposed to be a guest of honor tonight, but something happened because of his business interests elsewhere. The MC will highlight later on when his time comes. He has pre-recorded a video. So such are the stories of people like all of you. We have people in this room who are blessed beyond measure. At some point, you never thought Honorable Superman Dwanzia that you'd be honorable at some point. When in the road, even younger, no one thought you'd be honorable. But providence, grace, and time proved you to be where you are. So, this is how we come up with the title of The Wheel of Time. We are saying the wheel of time is the journey of tenacity, a journey of faith and grace and favor for you to be what you want to be. If you don't give up, you'll be what you want to be. I was talking to, in conclusion, I was talking to one of my friends who is here tonight. I didn't see him, but I know he's here. He's the vice president of Varun Beverage, PEPS. We're going to Zambia together, driving by road. And he was telling me a profound story to say, we are talking about time and chance. And he said, you know what, Rinos? My daughter, I want to buy something beautiful for my daughter. And I can't go back without that thing. I said, why? That's Dr. Murao. I said, why? He said, I promised my daughter a year ago. And today, when I was leaving home, she said, you know, Dad, don't forget to buy that thing that you promised me. And when you went there, that was on top priority. If you are to have such minds of kids, of young girls and sons, who will say, if you ask the father, even if you don't have anything, you ask the father, say, I want you to do ABCD for me. Even if I don't have, you have faith that my dad is able to provide for me. Such faith, such level of innocence, it will take us far. But many times we used to have such faith, but along the way, I don't know, some mysterious forces will lead us to believe otherwise. We have another young man, he's called Shingi. This is an amazing young man. He's amongst the crowd. This is someone who went to Dubai. I was talking to him at some point. His story is so profound. He went to Dubai, and when I was talking to him, I said, you know what? You are talking about someone whom I wrote in the book. He went to Dubai and in his early 20s, and he was a security guard in Dubai. He started 16 hours in the sun. Those guys, they work. I'm telling you the truth, started 16 hours in the sun. And something profound happened. A year later, he was promoted to become a supervisor. The following year, he became a manager. And later on, he became a director. Not only a director for a section, but a director of a big company running of the airport in UAE. And he's in here tonight. When he became a director, at some point he was managing Formula 1 competition there in Dubai. And at some point when he was here, he was flown back to Dubai to shoot a Fast and Furious movie. And right now he's consulting for billionaires, for multi-millionaires, amongst them including Kensha. He's the consultant for such people. So such are the stories of people like us. Such are the stories for people like you who have come in tonight. Such are the stories of people who change the whole narrative in the world. And thank you so much for gracing this event. I hope tonight